And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It would be 4th of June. It's Thursday, 2026. Hope you're having a good day. As always, we have lots to cover. Serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, scams, shams, corruption, tariffs, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and the Knicks. So I believe it was a week or two ago where I said to you, I don't want to jinx them, but I think they're going to win it all. They look so good. And you know, I don't know if you all watched the game. Did you notice the fourth quarter? You know, part of athletics, you know, which is not talked about enough, is training. Training. Being able to last. The Knicks just look like they are much better in shape than other teams because in the fourth quarter, they dial it up. And by the way, it's not just Jalen Brunson. It's all of them. They dial it up. They outscored San Antonio 11-0 in the last 2 minutes. My hero Jalen Brunson took over, but it wasn't just him. Josh Hart, I think he had 3 points in the game, but 14 rebounds, steals, and blocks. More importantly, they won the frickin' game. Nicely, too. I'm thrilled. I told everybody to shut up, though, that was getting excited because you still got to win 4 games, and San Antonio is a good team. But remember what else I told you? The problem for Wemby, the big guy on San Antonio, is the 3-point shooters for the Knicks. He's got to go out. And when he goes out, guess who goes in? Karl Anthony Towns. And he had a good game. So I think anything's possible. It's always the hot team. The Knicks are the hot team. If San Antonio gets hot, it can be a different story, and they can win the series. That's just the way it is. But right now, it seems like my Knicks, whew, 50 years? 72, 73, 53, 54 years since winning. I still have not forgiven John Starks for going 0 for 17 against Houston and losing that series. By the way, I was in an elevator with John Starks at the Marriott Marquis in New York City a bunch of years ago. I almost brought it up, but I said, nah, I shut up. Anyway, that is your sports for the day. The other news of the day is, and I want to make sure you know, because you know when I tell you when I care about something deeply, I go neck deep into it. Do you remember the Iraq War? I studied the Iraq War and the Peshmergas and all of them and all the tribes and all that. Well, I've been studying the hell out of Israel and Lebanon and Gaza for a very long time. That's why I've come on the show and talked to you about what kind of lies that are out there. It's almost, you can't say it's laughable because it's depressing, the lies that are talked about with Israel anyway. So supposedly the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, but it's not Lebanon, it's Hezbollah. They are a terrorist organization that likes killing. They like murder. And as I have told you, there's never going to be a ceasefire because they just like murder. If you remember one of the Dirty Harry movies, I forgot whether it's the first or second one, Dirty Harry said to one of the inspectors, you know he's going to kill again. The guy goes, and he says, well, how do you know? He goes, because they like it, or he liked it. They're murderers. So any ceasefire, let me tell you what the president's going to do here, just so you know. He has to get out. He's already stating that the elections have been rigged in California. He's already doing that because he knows he's going to lose his ass in November. So just so you know, expect him in November once the House and maybe the Senate goes to the Democrats. Oh, it was all rigged. That's what he's going to do. But before that, what he's going to do, he's going to get out of the Iran thing, whether should or not. Why? To give every chance for the Republicans to win. Oil prices were down almost $3 today, and every dollar is going to mean a ton to the poll numbers. Of course, the reason why they're going to lose is not because of the economy. They're going to lose because you can't just keep calling people losers and women piggy and people retarded. Remember what I've told you. You walk into a bar, who do you want to hang out with? The guy having a great time with the big smiles or the guy putting everybody down? So expect the Iran thing very soon to end no matter what. And it's going to be a win. And we're the greatest. And our military this, fine. But nothing's going to change. And my big hope, besides everything, if the president opens the spigot to them to get billions, he should never, ever, ever bring up Obama again and the $1.5 billion that was given back then. Ever. Because it'll make Obama's deal into the best deal and the president's deal a terrible deal. We wish him well. We hope things go well. But I'm letting you know how it's going to go. And give or take a little bit of time, Hezbollah will lob missiles into Israel again. But it won't be talked about it as much because it'll be off the front pages. Because the Iran thing will be done. You had Marco Rubio out say the war's over. The same night, Iran attacked Kuwait airport. And other Middle East places. So it's a cluster. We'll keep you informed. But the market was happy today, or at least some areas of the market today. And I'm going to do some explaining to you on the market. Very important. Because as we have told you, the Dow is very skewed these days. You know how we explain the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P, that 8 stocks are like 36% of the S&P and 60 some odd percent of the Nasdaq 100? Well, the Dow is skewed also. And in the Dow, there are 30 stocks. Only 8 are in decent shape. I'd say 1 or 2 more, and when I say decent, in uptrends, bullish type shape. But not really, because I include IBM on there, and this just went straight up to the highs, is backing off. But there's a couple of others that are okay. Merck's okay, but just okay. So how is it the Dow finishes at an all-time high today, and there's only 8 stocks in uptrends and a couple okay, and 20 others, some of them in really bad shape? We'll give you the explanation again. And we hope you listen because it's important. Because in my mind, it's not the Dow 30. It's kind of like the Dow 15. Yeah, call it the Dow 20. But good day for the Dow. But the other indices, not even close. And the Nasdaq was down minorly. Nasdaq 100 was down decently because there was a lot of jello moving on the plate today, kids. Wild from earnings reports. CrowdStrike finished down 30, was down 80. Broadcom finished down 60. Affecting some things, but not so bad. You opened up real bad on the Nasdaq types, real bad in the semiconductors. Pretty good comeback for a bunch of names. And we'll go through those numbers also. It was quite the wicked day today, may I state for the record. We'll tell you what's leading, what's lagging, and all that crap. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Goldman Sachs today was up 4.9%. It was the equivalent of 300, I'm rounding it out, 340 Dow points. Goldman Sachs. It's in the Dow, one of the 30. Verizon's in the Dow. And if it was up 4.9%, it would have been up 14 Dow points. So you have 30 stocks in the Dow. One of them is Goldman Sachs and was up 4.9%. And it was 340 Dow points. Verizon, if it was up 4.9%, would be up 14 points. And it just so happens every stock in the Dow that's under $100, we're down today. And it just so happens the two weakest names far below everything else, Verizon and Nike, were both down today. And Nike was down today even though they have some big confab or something going on today. You know what else was down today? The third lowest price names, Coca-Cola. You know what else was down today? The fourth lowest price stock, Disney. But you know what else was up today? Caterpillar. It's the number 2 highest price. That was up 90 Dow points today. You catching the drift? The high price stuff very much doing the heavy lifting. This is not a complaint, by the way. We're just making a statement on how things are going and how Caterpillar and Goldman are so damn important to the point where they're about 2.5 times more important than the next highest price name in the Dow. So just letting you know, Dow was up 874 today off of some high price stuff. And again, we're not throwing cold water, we're stating. Because if Goldman today was down what Nike was down today, well, let's use Verizon. If Goldman was down 3% today, it would have been 200 Dow points. Verizon was down 3%. Caterpillar, if it was down 3% today, 140 Dow points. But I guess good begets good, right? So just letting you know. And it's a big wow. So while the Dow was up, and this will explain everything, the Dow today was up 1.78%, but the S&P was only up 0.4%. It's because of how heavy technology is to the S&P versus the Dow. And technology, well, the SOX was down 300 points today. It was down over 800. And I will tell you, interesting enough, I don't think it's a big deal or anything because it's so extended. In the last, I don't know, 15 minutes, the stocks dropped about 180 points. It was actually only down 100 after being down 800. It's wild stuff. Banks had a good day. What did we tell you? Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Bank of New York, 3 strongest, new highs. Citigroup coming on, almost new highs. The weaklings of Wells Fargo and Bank of America, even they bounced. The regional banks that have been lagging had a good day. Nothing special, but had a good day. That helped. The small and mids had a good day. Why? Regional banks are a part of that. You know, we've been telling you that forever. Oil prices dropped $3. Yields drop. That's not bad. But for me, the bigger story was financials need to do better, and some of the banks into new high ground. Good to see. Crypto. Well, we did a good 10 minutes on crypto yesterday, and I got to tell you, I am so damn surprised it was down again today. I'm thinking it's oversold, trashed, you name it. Was down another 2.6% today. I saw somebody on TV, oh yeah, it's going to go up. And the person didn't ask why. Bitcoin price is down to 63,400 as I speak. Wow. And as I've said to you, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. January 14th to 26th was 95,000. The high October 6th, 25, 123,857. Is that about right? Yeah, about 48% drop from the highs. Ethereum hit a high of, well, closed at 1,769. Hit a high of 44.43 August of 25. Was 4,321. That's like 65%, I guess. We're very sincere when we say we hope you listened. All we have done with crypto, since there's no fundamentals, is just on a technical basis using the roadmap of what things look like in bull and bear markets. That's all we did. And we're even stunned. And as we stated, we think there's a rhyme and a reason. We'll do that next one more time and much more. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So I really do believe in this. I think this is a good educated guess. Crypto, whatever, are fed up. I think I said this yesterday. I'm saying it again. I think crypto people are fed up. What do we mean by that? What am I doing with this when Micron is doing this, when SanDisk is doing this? That's what I think's happening here. Simple as that. Remember what we talk about with these markets, it's fear and greed. Markets are about fear and greed. And this is feeding on itself. And certainly it did not help that the goober who runs MicroStrategy, now called Strategy, actually sold some Bitcoin. And this is a person that said, I'm never ever going to sell any Bitcoin. I think that's the story. And we mean it when we say we hope you listened. Now, we started getting questions last night. Where do you think it's going to go? Well, I have absolutely no idea. The last bear market took it down 75%. Ethereum's in the 60s. Bitcoin's around 50. I just don't know. I don't know if it stops tomorrow and we start going back up. I just think what you have is this fear and greed, and I should be in this other stuff. Just remember, what's the big noise now? Artificial intelligence. So that's fed on itself, and I think there's crypto bucks going into that. What else you got? Well, as you know, the president was yapping away for months about crypto. Oh, they ain't yapping anymore. This president never, ever, ever wants to look bad. So if he's talking crypto now, you catch my drift? And as I said yesterday, it better not break the lows of February, March, April. And I have to tell you, I think on a closing basis today, you did. On a closing basis, yeah, you did. On a closing basis, you broke the yearly low on Bitcoin, at least the ETFs. So we'll see where it goes. At the very least, we'll keep telling you what we've been saying. New commitments, this is a definitive avoid. We're not going to tell you if you own it to sell it. That'll be your decision. We'll just tell you what we think. And again, we are surprised. Because in the past, it has very much followed. Next, SpaceX, I think next week, $1.77 trillion market cap. It's not a typo. I think they only have 20 billion in sales. So leave no doubt from me to you, they're coming out at ridiculously high price to today. The future, as I said yesterday, there's some people that think the future is going to be gargantuan. I have no clue. I do know Starlink is getting big, and the thought they're going to do a lot of launches and make a lot of money. But that is, in my world, what I say to you, if they were selling pipes, the IPO would come out 80 to 90% less. But Wall Street is about, and I don't say this word in a bad way, hype, tout, celebrity, Elon Musk, past performance, Tesla. We'll see how it goes. But I want to repeat, currently, that is asinine, ass 10, and ass 11 valuation they're coming out with, because remember what we told you about Wall Street? They hate you. You're a means to the ends. That's how they brought out all these IPOs in the last couple of years that crashed after they brought them out, because they brought them out at the highest price possible. And frankly, though, their job is to bring it out the highest price possible because their clients are the companies that are going public. But it's still not good news, because a lot of these IPOs, everybody who's ever been in them has lost every dime. No, excuse me. Every person is lost, not necessarily every dime. And what we're going to be watching for is if, well, you know what I'm being told? That SpaceX IPO I put it here somewhere, and I got to find it. The valuation, or the price it's coming at, is, you'd have to add up all the IPOs of so-and-so amount of years, and SpaceX outdid it. Size. And that matters. So we'll keep one hell of an eye on it. And to Elon Musk, God bless you. God bless you. Unbelievable. What a story. Kind of flawed man. You can read about his personal life. But what a story. Have you seen those rockets being caught by the arm? You know, those rockets are like big as a skyscraper. How the hell did they come up with that? Seriously, how the hell did they come up with that? That's SpaceX. And by the way, I don't know if they open it higher or lower. Don't have a clue. I'm just letting you know IPO price is out of this world based on sales. And by the way, you can go look it up. You just have to search what is SpaceX sales numbers and do they earn money? Go check it out. And yes, I've received a lot of inquiries about it. And let me repeat, I really don't have any idea how this is going to be treated once it comes public. The numbers are beyond the beyond. We've never seen anything like it. And I wonder if it's going to mark a moment, because I do believe Anthropic's going to come public at a big number, and a couple of others. I think it's going to be a very interesting 2026 in the markets. Eli Lilly, up another 46 today, back at the old highs. We'll let you know if it breaks out. Just letting you know. The wonder drugs. Just letting you know. The obesity drugs. Just letting you know. There's one now called retatrutide. It's an experimental weight loss drug. And supposedly it's going to be big stuff. And helps with diabetes too. Up next. What else happening? This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Dun-dun-dun. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. As I was mentioning, they call these GLP thingamabobs. What it does is it reduces appetite, improves insulin sensitivity, increases energy expenditure, and promote fat loss. Results so far, wow. Participants on the 12 milligram dose lost an average of 70 pounds over 80 weeks, with nearly half achieving 30% weight loss, a level typically associated with the bariatric surgery. You know, that's the, what is that, like the stomach staple? There are side effects: nausea, diarrhea, I sound like one of those commercials. Well, you know the side effects. It has not been approved by any regulatory agency, and is currently only legally available through Eli Lilly's clinical trials. FDA approval could potentially come in 27. The market is putting the stock up based on this. Just letting you know. And I have to tell you, if this country is ever able to really get, I'll use the word obesity, but we'll use overweight. If we're able to get the overweightness down, healthcare costs in this country will plunge. Absolutely plunge. That would be fantastic. I've met some people that are on it, and wow. One of the closest family friends, hadn't seen her in 6 months. Wow. And it's a double whammy because you're able to exercise better, do things better, burn fat easier. Wow. So just letting you know. And I also want to bring up, and we always talk about optimism, the medical breakthroughs. I believe it was Japan. They came up with a pill for pancreatic cancer that'll extend just so you know, it's a death sentence, pancreatic cancer in a late stage. They're now coming up with something that extends life. You know what else we're finding out that artificial intelligence may do? Read early cancer. Pancreatic cancer, from what I read all the time, you don't know it until it's real bad because the symptoms are not there. This is what we're talking about. It's amazing where I think we're going. And that's why we're spending more time now going through healthcare companies. And I've been amazed recently that healthcare stocks have been in the crapper. And so have been big biotech. Been horrible. We'll keep informed. There's not a day that goes by that we don't read about medical breakthroughs, technological breakthroughs, which, by the way, I don't think I've still been able to capture artificial intelligence. I know I can go on right now and get, let's see, I'm on Google and I'm going to put in there best places to go in, I'll pick Austria. And it says AI overview, so artificial intelligence, Vienna for culture, Salzburg for music and fairy tale charm, Hallstatt for postcard perfect landscapes, and Innsbruck, I think they had Olympics there, for mountain adventures. I always thought I can get that just with searches. Now it's the AI search. So I don't know. I first started using Claude today. See what it's like. My wife is big with the chat GPT. I mean, she is the queen of chat GPT. We're looking at homes, so we're trying to figure out, what's the good value, what's not. If you had to fix this up, boy, that gives you a lot of crap. The question is, are they going to be right? And what does it have to do with the markets? I got to tell you, there's going to be some freaking big winners in the years to come because of productivity gains and medical breakthroughs and technological breakthroughs and geniuses. There'll be another Elon Musk that comes around, another Steve Jobs. And I got to tell you, you know what I'm reading about now? These 20-some-year-olds that creating artificial intelligent companies and getting a market cap of $1 billion immediately. Why not me? Why? Because I don't have a clue about these things. So just letting you know, there's going to be plenty of big winners ahead of us, and there's going to be some big losers too. Why? Because in this world of technology, what's unbelievable today becomes obsolete tomorrow if the next guy comes in and does it faster, quicker, better, and cheaper. And how do you find the great stocks? The new yearly high list. How do you find the double, triple, quadruple, tenfolder? The new yearly high list. So just letting you know, because in the last 3 months, names I've never heard of are showing up. And I got to do big investigations on them. Some based here. There's one, what is it, NBIS? They're Netherlands. And boy, oh boy, a lot of companies out of Israel. All right, heading to the airport. You have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do, quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise they will be well. From New York City tomorrow. Have a good night.